Hi, welcome to Fireside Rebels. I'm Carole Ann. Today I've got an exciting guest coming on the pod. Her name is Cindy Seer Anderson, and she has Soulpiphany, which is a very interesting spiritual coaching practice. Cindy, her guides call her Seer. She's a pro coach certified life coach with over a decade of experience helping women reconnect with their deeper calling. Her signature method, Your Spirit Guide on Speed Dial, teaches you how to communicate with your guides directly and confidently. Soulpiphany is the name of the website and the approach. Soulpiphany bridges the gap between spiritual wisdom and everyday life. The approach believes that communicating with your spirit guides should not require years of study or esoteric rituals. The methods are designed for busy, ambitious women who want clarity and connection without stepping away from the life they have built. This sounds like it's exactly in the wheelhouse of the Fireside Rebels audience. So I'm really looking forward to my conversation with Cindy Seer, and we're going to have a really good chat. And I hope you find it interesting. I will put links to the website. You can do a spiritual personality quiz on her website, which is fun. And yeah, it's something a little different today, and I really enjoyed this conversation, so I hope you do too. And here is my conversation with Cindy Seer Anderson. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. I, did a bit of a dive
Okay.
into your website and I did the quiz.
Okay.
So let's just dive in to tell me about, so of course this channel Fireside Rebels is, as you know, women in midlife trying to reignite their second act and reclaiming their spark. What's ahead for them? So I think there's a couple of different ways, like multiple ways we can kind of talk about this. Um so Soulpiphany, was this reclamation and a sort of reinvention for you at some point? Like, did you just
Yes.
kind of shift into this new thing? Tell me what brought you into this and tell me about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally your audience, your target market that was
Awesome.
me. So, wake up one day at 45 and realize that I have checked off every box on the magic list that I was given by, I don't know, my parents,
Whoever.
teachers. Yeah, do these things and life will be great. And it turns out the list actually provides financial stability and perhaps parental pride, but no happiness. Where was the happiness, right? So I started kind of looking. I was like, I had a friend on Facebook from high school say, "Did you win the lottery or something?" And I was like, "Is that what my life looks like externally?" I had posted a picture of my dog sitting on the patio, just like innocent, and I thought, "Wow, that's not how I see it. I didn't win a happiness prize. And I mean, there's more to life than, some of the external stuff. So, yes, definitely started asking questions. What is the purpose? Is this all there is? Am I being greedy for wanting a little bit more? Is that unreasonable to say, well, I have things that people seem to want, but I'm just not quite, nothing is really wrong, right?
Right.
You just not it. So I couldn't find a happiness trophy. It didn't show up. And then I started asking questions, and that led me to seeking out my guide, who turns out was in the background chattering at me the whole time, going, "Hello, there's something else for you." So that's the starting point of it. And then I spent the next 10 years trying to figure out a way to help other women. So I thought, what if we just took this very fuzzy thing that is out there in the spiritual world, try harder, believe more, and turn it into a system that people could just plug into, follow the steps, do the thing, and get the result you're looking for. So I've kind of taken my world and turned it into a little bit of a lab environment. I call myself
Yeah.
the mad spiritual scientist. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We go into the lab room, we put on a coat, we get some beakers, we get some chemicals, we break some shit, we get messy, we embrace our inner little girl and go, there's no right or wrong. There's not a success metric here. You don't go in with, you must accomplish this. We just go in and have some fun and see what happens. Don't believe
Cool.
me. Don't trust me. I want you to trust your own experience. And it's a lot of fun. So
That's so cool. So you said 10 years, like you started asking questions and then you started exploring. Like how did that did you come from somewhat of a spiritual background, or you felt that was missing? Like you felt like there's something more. I feel there's something more to the energy that but I don't know what it is. Was that more?
yeah, I mean, I've always been open, and I don't have any
Yeah,
kind of like religious background or anything. I've always been
right.
pretty open to the idea that there's more in the universe than
Yeah,
what we see. And of course, I knew other people had guides and stuff. I thought that was for someone special. I thought
right.
guides were for a few select few. Um, and I'm not saying I'm not special. Sure, my parents love me, but I really think everybody has a guide, and everybody has something that is maybe beyond what they're thinking of in terms of their current life existence that maybe might fulfill them in a different way. And us women, as you know, your whole show is about it. Us women are so focused on pleasing everyone else,
Yeah.
and then we get to the midlife, and it's like the kids are gone, and now someone says, "Well, what do you want?" And you go, "I have
I
no
don't know.
idea. I have never asked. No one's ever asked me that question before. I have no clue."
Yeah.
So kind of getting some assistance on that is the idea. So
So, okay, so walk us through. Um, so I went on your website and I did the quiz,
mhm.
and it spits out. So that's like one part of it. Spits
Mhm.
out you are. So mine was cosmic
Channel,
creator
channel, I think.
channel.
Yeah.
And so walk us through. Someone is, so one of my viewers is like, oh, I just don't know, I'm too busy, like I'm burnt out, I'm so tired, I just don't have time to think about what I want to do, but I know there's something else. And then if they go to your website, so walk us through the process if they kind of go to your website, and then what are kind of the steps that kind of can happen, and what do each things bring you?
Okay. So there's basically three kind of entry points into the website, three different types of quizzes. The spiritual personality one, which if you've ever played with like Myers-Briggs or any of the big three
Yeah.
psychology tests, it's very much in alignment with those. So I've tried to keep it. I won't say it's full science, but it's got a lot of science behind it.
Oh, neat. Okay.
So that one, people like that. It really resonates. And then there's a signal finder, which is basically, kind of identifying the way in which you might communicate, because we all have a little bit of different style. And then the third one is, I call it the spirit whisperer tree. And it's basically, where are you in the process of getting closer to your guide? Are you 20 steps away, or are you two? And then from there, I invite people in. Like I said, I love to invite people in to explore. So I do a 5 day free challenge, a one-on-one challenge. I call it the Call Your Guide Challenge. And in five roughly 30-minute sessions, we'll go from I don't even believe I have a guide and I'm not even sure this nonsense is real to I've connected with my guide. I get to ask my question and get an immediate and clear answer to that question. And that's a complimentary thing that I do. I
Mm.
don't do it all the time, but I bring it. I come and go with it. I love to bring in skeptics. That's my favorite. They're actually the most interesting. So those are some of the things that I offer. I try not to be that. Come on in and buy a bunch of stuff. Let's get some trust. Let's see if this is for you, and then that's the process.
How many skeptics would you say most of the people who are skeptical who come in, they end up turning and going, this is crazy?
Yes, and they're the most fun because they're floored by it. They also don't come in with a lot of preconceived ideas.
Right.
One of the things that I'm not casting stones at anyone, but the industry at large is very. I know something you don't know, and sort of it's like a magic few get this sacred information, and so if people have been dabbling in that, they've got a lot of indoctrination going on to a lot of things that I think are kind of, let's say, the individuals in that industry want you to be dependent on them. So
Yes.
so they want you to come and get a reading, and then they
Right.
become the source of truth. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm not the source of truth. I'm a Sherpa. I'll guide you up the mountain. I'll show you where the crevasses are. I'll tell you when the weather looks like it's bad, but it really is bad, or when it looks like it's bad and it's just going to pass over. Uh, kind of the
Yeah,
pitfalls, and then let them make
that's
their own
great.
choices. Yeah. So the skeptics are awesome because they don't have a lot of, they're kind of like a blank slate. And then they get the most fun reaction when they're like, oh, one of my favorites, one of my classes that I do these small groups, like 10 women at a time, and I call it the contact lab, which is the mad spiritual scientist thing. And one of my favorite responses was one of the gals realizing there's a big difference between when your guide says yes and hell yes. And that sort of like, oh, right, it's communication. It's not interpreting. We're not looking at a feather on the car and saying, oh, that means I'm supposed to take the new job. How do you know that? Or maybe it was just a bird that dropped by. So I mean, life is so filled with so much chaos, right? Like, wouldn't it be nice if we just had some clear communication?
Yeah, clarity for something. Holy
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so okay, so you've got you sign people up, you've got sometimes you've got group cohorts and then do you also do like one-on-one or
Yeah, so the free challenge that I'm currently running it right now.
5 day,
And
you said?
5 days, yeah. And it's quick. It's not like 5 full days. It's like 5 30-minute calls. That one's free. And that's individual one-on-one, so it just depends on the personality. Some people really like a group setting, so I do small groups as well.
Okay.
But yeah, that one's the complimentary one, and that's a great entry point for somebody that's maybe, I don't know, could I use some help making some decisions in my life? Which I think is kind of that's definitely your lane, right? Is how do I decide what's next? And, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, you've reinvented yourself so many times just based on looking at your bio. So when you're looking at a new chapter, what is it that how do you go about deciding? How do you pick?
Yeah, for me, I think there's definitely something to what you're doing because I definitely have these like downloads, these messages or, intuitive sparks that I'm like, where did that come from? Okay. Sounds like that. And then suddenly it's like the coincidences and the connections and and I get into flow state and I recognize this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And it hasn't, well, yeah, no, like I've been reflecting on even when my marriage ended and I was like, now what am I going to do? I was in my 30s, early 30s, and I, it was like asking questions and then coincidences kind of and certain people saying sort of the same thing to me and then things falling into place and setting me on a career of 22 years as an architectural designer and project manager in the construction industry, right? Which was like, and it's like that's something that I loved in
Hmm.
high school.
Okay.
And so it's like it was always kind of there that this was something I would love to do is design homes and design renovations and interior design and all that. But it never was on my trajectory as something that I thought I could do, especially didn't think as a woman, didn't think I could go into carpentry. And I went into carpentry first for a year.
Okay.
And so but it was a bunch of things that unfolded where the intuition spoke to me and something spoke to me, whether that's a guide, like quite possibly, because I do
Right.
think that I think I have a spirit team, like
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of helping me
I, w-
along
I
quite
would agree with that.
regularly.
Yeah, I would agree with
Yeah,
that.
like, so yeah, for me, so for this last one, yeah, it was like, um, a big disruption, a big like, holy shit, now what am
Mm,
I gonna do? And and I started meditating and I started doing art and I started
mm,
writing.
mm.
And that de-excited my nervous system to the point where I could start to hear beyond the noise because it literally felt like I had years of static. like
Yes.
static, and I couldn't hear my intuition. I couldn't hear anything outside of this static, and just I had anxiety. I couldn't catch my breath half the time. Like it was a really hyper stressed state to exist in.
Mm.
And when I was forced into no longer being on council and then got laid off from my job, it was just like, holy shit, now what am I going to do? But it forced me to slow down, like just stop
Right.
and just breathe. I started meditating, and that really, just that de-exciting of my nervous system once or
Hmm.
twice a day has
Yep.
been a game changer.
Yeah.
It's just brought everything quieter so that I can hear and I can feel and I can get these downloads of inspiration and guidance, which is bananas.
And interestingly enough, the instinct to do the slowing down and the meditating and the giving yourself some chill time is the right first step. And that was probably something you channeled. That was probably the first thing you channeled, right? Is like,
Without knowing it. Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So,
And it's funny, like how often we are forced, like we are shoved off the cliff with
mhm,
a big, or a diagnosis, or yeah, loss of a job, or an end of a marriage, and it's like, you're free falling, and you're forced to go, either pick yourself up and figure out what's next, or fall and crash and burn. So it I've never been well, I have crashed and burned to a degree, but it's like, okay, that's enough crashing and burning. Now I need to
right,
pick myself up. And it's like, yeah, then it's like suddenly something tells you need to start meditating, dude. Like you need to
right.
start doing art.
Just
You start
breathe.
writing. Yeah, and
Yeah.
breathe. Like, holy shit. I'm sure I didn't take a full deep breath into my lungs for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
Yes.
shallow breather. And then,
Uh-huh.
it's like, when somebody says to you, like, take a deep breath, you're like, like you suddenly realize you were holding your breath.
Yes. Yes. And
That was me for about 10 years.
it's so hard, right? Like, oh, that's one and obviously you're touching on the pretty much the first step of my process is all those grounding things. And I tell people go outside and put your actual feet, no
Feet
socks, on the
on the
soil.
ground. Yeah.
Yes. And then just breathe for a minute, and people are like, oh my god, I don't have time for that. And it's like, that's why you need to do it. For every person that says, oh, I tried meditation, I can't do that, I'm like, yeah, if you can't do it, you really really need it, girl.
That was me.
Dude, yeah.
100%. That was me. I was, for years and years and years, I would try to meditate to some of these apps or this and that. And I would just, my monkey brain voice was just
Mm-hmm.
like, chat, 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 chat. And then finally I found a program that just said, you can't shut off your thoughts.
Mm.
Like, it'd be like asking your heart to stop beating.
Right.
But let it just come in and just flow through. And so then by shifting my thoughts of, like, instead of punishing myself,
For
oh
for
God,
thinking.
I can't shut my brain off, and feeling like I'm a bad meditator all the time, I would just let it come through and just, oh, right, acknowledge that I'm totally thinking about something else. Let it go, and then just keep going back to the mantra and just keep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I always thought you had to meditate for, an hour. It's like,
Right,
for me,
right.
10-15 minutes once or twice a day. Like it didn't have to be a lot. And then sometimes I don't even want to come out of it. Once I
Yes.
sink into it, it's like
Yes.
suddenly I'm like, oh geez, that was half an hour. But
Right.
it didn't feel like it wasn't me trying to do that. It was just like, oh yeah, this is really good. You just stay there, and it's like, so it's so funny because I was exactly that person. I can't meditate.
Right,
Why
right.
would you? It's so dumb, blah blah blah, and it's
My
like, no,
brain
it's
my brain won't shut off, which is
my brain won't shut off.
subtle kind of, I'm smart. I'm smart.
Yeah,
My
and
brain won't shut off.
and I think a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but a lot of meditation things that I looked at were, probably meant for monks or yogis. Like,
Yes,
and
yes.
sort of frame it that way, that you must do this and you must do that and you
Mm-hmm.
must, it's like, yeah, no, for busy people, if you just have 10-15 minutes even once a day is better than not, and twice a day is even better. So
Yep.
yeah, I found that really quieted everything down so that I could be open to what was trying to come through.
Right.
And it's quite prolific, really.
Yeah, that's a great instinct that you had, and obviously the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, thanks. So so you've done, so the 5 day free introduction is rolling intake, like you just take people one on one, you said, or group, but
Well,
kind of rolling.
so the group one isn't complimentary. The one on
Mm.
one is, and basically what I've been doing is opening up the free when I have something to promote. So for your show, for instance, I will open that up for the free complimentary, and uh, it's not all the time open because
But
of
what if you
course.
get bombarded? You can't do that many one on ones.
Well, I mean, I always say,
First come, first serve, top 10.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people say that's interesting and are a little fearful. They get a
Oh,
little
yeah.
like, oh, that's cool, and then go, oh, I don't know.
I could
So
see that, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, so there's definitely a process there.
But your website, so I'll put it on the screen for the podcast, but yeah, it's Soulpiphany. Where did you come up with that? How did you come up with that name? Did that
I
was
wanna,
that like
yeah, I want to say there's like a stroke of genius is really just, yeah, I channeled
a
it.
download? It
literally,
was a
literally my entire business is a download.
Yeah,
So sometimes it's like I have this great idea and I know it's a great idea, and sometimes I'm like, it's just what I needed to do.
yeah.
But then I'll go research and find the backing for whatever the concept was. But yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I was doing, much like you, I was doing something very, very different. I was a real estate investor, and
Oh, wow.
well, before that I was a corporate marketing, and
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
You have a just like strange things in your career, and then
Yeah.
one day you wake up and go, yeah, that's all not
This
it.
isn't bringing me
That
joy.
wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. Yeah. So I'm sure your audience will resonate with the idea that there's a point in your life where you kind of cross over from, I mean, not everyone, but some people will cross over from, I want to make money to I want to make a difference,
Yes.
as a sort of, especially once you've sort of accomplished things in your life. Now you're like, okay, if I had, if I passed away tomorrow and people showed up at my celebration of life, what would they say about me? Did I make a difference? Did I leave a mark? I don't know.
I ask people to write their own obituary
Mm,
when
interesting.
they're at this phase of like, especially if they're resistant. If they're like, I don't know, I'm too old to start anything new. I'm just so tired. I just want to sit at home and binge watch. It's like, yeah, but if you were to write your own obituary, like say, heaven forbid you died next Thursday, but if
Right.
you did, write your own obituary. And like, are you happy with that? Like, are you good with
Mm-hmm.
everything that you've accomplished in that time? Not that there's no shame,
Right.
but it like gets, because I mean, I found like I started when I got laid off and I was no longer on council. I applied for a fellowship to Harvard,
Oh.
and I was like, this is completely far fetched. I wasn't accepted, but going through the application process and looking at what I had done, even just, career wise or whatever, or making a difference wise, was really good. It was a good exercise to go, I've done some shit. Like this is, and what felt, what felt most impactful to me and what felt made me feel good was, yeah, help, like
Helping other
the
people.
help, making a difference,
Mm-hmm.
giving back and helping. But it's like listing out the things that you've done. It does kind of give you a different perspective to go, oh, but I still haven't done that.
Right. Right.
So look what's missing from
Mm-hmm.
my list. If I were to go next week, what
Mm-hmm.
have I not tried to do? Because I mean, I reflected on this recently. When my marriage ended I was 32. I thought I was too old to start over.
Oh
I'm
no. Right.
32.
And now you're like, oh, I was a baby then, right?
Yeah, so
You got time for 3 or 4 new lives after 30.
thankfully I picked myself up by the bootstraps and contacted a contractor and said, hey, would you hire me to be a first aid attendant and a laborer and apprentice? Like, and he was like, yeah, okay.
There you go.
And so and then just that whole trajectory was like a whole new thing for me. And it turned into a lung infection. I got a bad lung infection on a bad renovation that we did. So I got really sick and I was on medical leave. And then, of course, that negative was flipped around to a positive because my boss, when he realized I probably wasn't coming back on tools, he called me to go for coffee and he said, "Are you artistic at all?" And I have a whole background in acting and, writing and art. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a bit artistic." And he's like, "Well, if you got retrained, I would hire you back as a draftsperson and designer, because
Ah,
I can't, like, the phone is ringing off the hook for people wanting blueprints in this town. And there's only one guy that does them and he does them by hand." So it
okay.
takes too long. So that negative I
Turns
was flipped around and set me on, suddenly I did a 10-month program and he hired me back at more than double what I was making on as a laborer and apprentice.
hmm
So I always, yeah, I like to like encourage people to, if there is a negative, like how can we flip that around and
Yes.
turn that into a positive? So it's like, so what you're doing, the, you know, getting people in touch with their guide or guides, like some
Yep.
multiple guides can be
Yes.
like
Yes.
that. How does that, like, can you kind of walk me through that? Like, now I'm so curious. I want to sign up for the 5-day thing for sure.
Do it. Yeah, absolutely do
I do. So, but okay. So walk me through, how that would look, sort of learning how to listen, assuming that I don't
Yes.
listen to anything.
Right.
How does that maybe feel to someone, especially a skeptic? How does that,
Yes.
a skeptic coming in, guide me through a little bit of what that might look like?
Okay. There's like four really great questions in there. The first thing is when you when you're living your life, right? You're making decisions, and if you didn't have a guide, so whatever, 90% of the people, when I say didn't have a guide, I don't mean don't have one, because I believe everyone has one. The question is, as you said, can you hear them? If you don't have a guide, you go looking to make decisions, and most people tend to look to their trusted advisor, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Best friend, spouse, sister,
Parent.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is that, yeah, those people love you. Of course, they love you and they want what's best for you, but they can't remove their belief systems and their personal interests from the choices that you make. And so that guidance that they're going to provide you is always,
Skewed.
it's skewed. Yeah. And your spirit guides, they're just about you. They don't have any other exterior stuff going on. So the it's the one true source of unbiased information. I mean, it really is. And so that is a really unique part of it. And I think, people probably don't even think about that. They probably don't think about it at all. They just go, I need to make this decision, and I ask a bunch of people, and they give me their input. And but with the guide, what it brings is confidence. And I think that's part of what you said about midlife women, especially when they've spent their whole life serving everyone around them but themselves, trying to feel confident in the choices that they're making. And so the guide can help you look at something, a choice that you're making or a choice that you want to make from a very different perspective. Remove the emotional stuff, remove the very human fear, ego, some of the stuff that clouds our choices, and give you some advice that resonates with what you ultimately want, trying to help you be sort of like the best version of yourself. And once you get comfortable with that, you develop this confidence and this comfort that, hey, the decision I'm making is the best one in this moment. And then when you make a decision and you're confident, and if you think about times in your life when you made a decision you were unsure about, you often kind of half-ass it, right? I made this decision to change jobs, for instance, but I wasn't confident in the decision, so I put together a resume, but it was trash. I said I was going to contact a bunch of friends and ask for referrals, but I contacted like one. The headhunter asked for something and I didn't follow through because you're not confident. And so then guess what happens? Self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Yeah.
You create the reality that you decided was true, which is this is a bad
Yeah.
decision, and so then the outcome is bad. Conversely, when you make a decision that you're confident in, now you just get to work on it, right? And you do the things, you take the steps, and so that's where the confidence really becomes important. And I think the guide can really help you. Your guides can really help you with that. And I think people are looking for that. There's so much like you said, there's so much noise in the world. Getting information that is personal to you is a really special gift. So
Well, so many of us, especially women, I want to say, suffer from imposter syndrome, perfectionism, right? Having to live up to some other standards. So that, yeah, getting confidence in a decision, I think, is crucial.
mhm.
So does the guidance come through in different ways for different people through this process?
Well, that's a really interesting question, kind of deep down into the spiritual world. I try not to put labels on people, so you'll hear people throw out terms like clairvoyant or clairaudient or whatever, and I feel like there's room for all different methods of communication. So some people
Yeah.
are very physical. I have something in my program I call a fingerprint signature, which is an actual feeling in your body when you're getting a download. And if you can learn to recognize that, then you instantly know this isn't my cuckoo monkey brain making up some
Right.
stuff. This is divine guidance. So that's one example of how we do that. Some people, are more, they feel their way into things, and so I try to make the programs accessible to all people, but we're not looking to label it, right? So it's just
Right.
I kind of lay the tools out, and what you connect with, you'll connect with, and there'll be some things where you're like, oh, that wasn't, that was great, but it wasn't for me. And then I give enough sort of pathways that everyone can find one that works for them.
Cool. Okay. Um, okay. So you've got, okay. So after you're going to launch, you said like the free 5 day, what do you call the 5 day one?
It's the Call Your Guide challenge. It's like
Call your guide
call your guide. Yeah.
challenge. Call your guide.
Yeah.
And so so you have one-on-one calls for 5 days
Yep.
for
5
20, 30 minutes kind of
Yep.
thing?
Yep. Yep. About 30 minutes. Sometimes they
30
run longer.
minutes?
I don't cap them and say, okay, we got to get off the phone now. But yeah, I try to give bite-sized lessons and kind of walk people through the process in a way that they can digest, because it is a bit for their system.
Yeah.
As you know, the nervous system calming is like, we got to nail that right away.
Yes. Yes. And so so when someone signs up for the challenge, do they do any of those other, like the spirit, is that important? The spiritual personality quiz or any, is that important for that, or?
They're not prerequisites or anything. Those are more for people that are kind of in the exploration, but I'm not ready to pick up the phone and actually do this. I think it's kind of fun, but I'm not sure.
And so on the first day, of the 5 day challenge,
Mm-hmm.
how do you determine, so you're on a Zoom screen.
Yep.
How do you determine fairly quickly where the person is at in terms of skepticism, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of noise in their mind,
Right.
how they're gonna resonate with this?
Uh-huh. I mean, it's a pretty normal process. You wouldn't be surprised. It's a lot like the conversation we're having. We do an intake,
Just talk.
we talk. Yeah, we talk. We get to know each other a little bit. We talk about what they're looking for and what their kind of purpose in doing this is, and what challenges they've had, if they've tried something before, if they haven't, whether they believe or they don't believe, and then 80% of the content is going to be the same for everybody, and then we customize things where it makes sense.
Are there any red flag alerts where you go, oh no, I'm not spending another minute with this person?
Not really. I haven't run into that yet. I guess if
Good.
someone gave strong, like, I'm going to waste your time and talk your ear off, and we're not,
Then you could shut it down.
Yeah, but no, not really. I mean, I don't have criteria. I cater to women, but I don't reject men. It's just not who I market to. I feel like women, I don't know, we got a lot
More open.
They're more open, and I think I feel like we got a lot of problems in the world that need addressing, and my goal is to really, I don't know, help us survive the next 100 years. And I feel like if that's going to happen, women are going to have to lead that. So that's my focus. But yeah, I mean, I'm not discriminatory. It's anyone that has an interest and actually will commit to showing up on time and doing the work. I mean, I ask people to make a commitment, not a financial one, but a commitment. I make them write down, hey, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this thing. And
Right.
if they were to, not follow through, then I suppose, but I haven't had that happen yet.
Is there homework?
There is, but we do it together on the call.
On the call.
Yeah. As you probably know in your world, homework is a grand idea that doesn't work out that great all the time. So
no, it's like you cram at the last, you have a whole week, say, to do the 15-minute little thing, and it's
right.
like, oh my God, I didn't do it, and I got to call it.
Yeah, I call it home play, not homework, because
that's a good one.
And we do it on the call. We do it together.
Oh, that's a good.
We do it together.
Yeah, that's better. And then you also then have that insight into going through it together. So it kind of jumpstarts you into the next thing for them, because instead of them doing it on their own and then bringing back the results or what their holdups were, because then you're kind of doing it again.
Yes. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. The reason I do this it's ultimately because I want to get more and more case studies, more and more experiences. And there's nothing like the look on somebody's face when they're like, oh, snap, that worked. So helping people get that kind of, I call it the magic moment, which may be overstating it a bit, but for a lot of people it is like, whoa, mind-blowing. And now the question is, I have 400,000 questions. What do I ask first?
Right.
I like to tell my clients, okay, you got a really important question, like the question that you really want to answer? Yes, I've got it. Okay, don't ask that yet, because we're not there yet. We have to build some trust first. So we don't jump right into the big stuff. We start small and work our way up and build trust with the guide, understanding that you're getting something external, knowing how to recognize that. That's part of it. I teach people how to know the difference between when your brain's saying something and when it's actually a download, and then trying to figure out what the next step is and where we're at. So I always say it's a two-way, just like with any person, any relationship, it's a two-way relationship. So the guide also needs to have some confidence that you're going to do the things that you talk about doing. Like they're not your God, right? They're not telling you what to do. Your own instinct is still obviously guiding the show, but what's the point of, from the guide's perspective, of giving you a lot of great advice that you're like, nah.
Right.
So it's a two-way street, and that takes time, just like anything.
I
don't ask people to believe anything. I ask them to experience it for themselves, and I also don't ask them to trust their guide blindly. That would be foolish. No, you build trust. So it's something that's earned over time, not granted. We don't just give trust.
I love that. I love that you're teaching the people to do this. That, like you say, it's not about you. You've got to keep coming back to me. You're
right.
Yeah, you're building that and kind of like, there you go. You have the tools.
Yes.
Carry on.
That's exactly right. I try to do the teach people to fish thing.
That's awesome. And
no dependence on
how
me.
many, do you have a goal for how many people you want to get to have the magic moment?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't not really looked at it in those terms.
Because there's 8 billion people on this planet.
There is. It's a really big number. That's a big number, yeah.
But imagine, like, the more people that you could help and get people to tune into their guides. Like, imagine the difference. So it's like, I wonder what that tipping point would be.
Right.
To get people to be able to differentiate between the monkey brain and a download. Right.
And then they're going to spend a lot less time online fighting about stupid stuff.
Totally.
Yeah, the wars and the hatreds and the isms. When people are, I don't want to say happy, because that's a big goal, but at least not unhappy with themselves. Right. They're less
content.
You're living your own life. You're not out there telling everybody you need to do this or you need to do that. You're doing your own thing.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. It's a lofty goal, but I mean, I feel like we got some work to do as a species right now. We're in a rough place. So that's my tiny contribution. But I like the idea of having a goal, a number of people. I'm going to give that some thought. That's an interesting way to look at it, and I haven't done it in those kinds of parameters. So Yeah.
Yeah, I would be curious to what you come up with because yeah, there's got like obviously the more people the better, but your capacity is a certain amount
Right.
obviously as well. So it's like finding that how many people can you realistically connect with and do this work with in a year, say, and then, but then how can you scale that? Because
Right.
maybe some of these people then might go on to be able to share this with other people, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And there's no, I'm not hiding a bunch of stuff behind the magic curtain. I mean, the process isn't that complicated. It's more having someone there to guide you through the steps and then to have that confidence say, hey, this will actually work. And that's why I've tried to take what originally I had as like a 12-week coaching program, or like a full, 20 hours of course kind of thing, and
Yeah.
tried to boil it down to, okay, that's the really big, I want the whole life change, but what if we could get a lot of people to a quick win? And so the quick win is, I've talked to my guide, I've got a question, I can ask it and get an answer right now. And a clear answer, not hi, I'm there, right? Because that's the signs and synchronicities things, and those are great. Those are proof of existence of your guides, but they're not proof of understanding. So it's, if you take away our microphones right now, and you take away our language, now how do you and I communicate? It gets a lot more difficult. So I try
Yeah.
to take away that ambiguity, give people some really precise ways to get the exact answer that they're looking for.
That's awesome. Did you have, when you were in your journey and learning this whole approach, did you have any specific teachers or people who you like really resonated and sort of walked you through this?
No. In fact, I'm probably a
Mm,
little bit anti the establishment. At some point, I did make a conscious decision not to go exploring what everyone else is doing, because I didn't want to just be
fall into
recreating.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I thought I'm just going to create my own process, and then
Oh, wow.
from there, then it was all about this testing model where I'm like, okay, let's just get a bunch of women in here and do this thing and see how it goes. And
Oh, cool.
and that's been a lot of fun. That's actually what it's really my jam, is to get a group of women, a small group, because it is a certain energy that needs to be kind of controlled, but to get a group of women together and walk them through the process and see the evolution that they go through. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I know why some men are afraid of groups of women getting together because
We
we
start
can make
stirring
shit
that pot,
happen and
right?
it can, yeah.
Yep.
That that's
Yep.
awesome. So
Yes.
you're trying to do like do more so that you can get more case studies and sort of be able to are you so you mentioned in your email that you wrote a book? You're a best-selling author of something?
Yes, but not on this topic.
Not on this
I know
topic.
this. I know
So
that's crazy, right?
well, so I'm wondering, I know, so I didn't know what the book was, so I
Oh
couldn't look
yeah,
it up,
yeah, and it's not
but
even under, it's under a pseudo. It's under a
a
pen name.
pseudonym.
Yeah.
That's
So
fine.
yeah.
But because now I know you are a writer and you have that in you as well. So I'm wondering, I'm curious if like once you kind of get what's your again, your I don't know why I have all these metrics that I need you to answer.
No, it's
It's
okay.
like I think my work has always been kind of like guided by goals and metrics, but
Right.
if is there a sort of like a point where you'll have so many case studies that you'll be like, now I'm ready to write a book that will just
Yes.
be a
Yeah.
companion guide that will
Yep.
guide like lead people to do the work, not just
Yes.
not
Yes.
be on their own, but may guide them to you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's definitely part of the what's on the horizon. And of course, as you said, if I want to get to more people, it's got to be leverage, and it's got to be,
Yeah,
how do you scale?
scalable.
Yeah, it's not going to be
Yeah,
one on one. That's why I'm like, if people, when people, aren't interested in the one on one, I chuckle and go, come back in a year, girl, that's going to be $10,000 coaching, right? Like,
yeah,
this isn't going to
yeah,
be free forever. I'm doing it because I'm validating what I,
yeah.
I now know to be a system that
You're honing
that
it.
works.
You're
Yep.
honing it. You're
Hmm.
fine tuning it.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep. So that's
That's
the
awesome.
idea. I mean, ultimately, yes, a book, absolutely. Large group events, absolutely. At some point, I mean, how that will
Oh,
manifest, I don't know, but it'll come when it's ready. And so this is part of this for me, is getting out. I've been doing a little bit of secret agent stuff. You may this may or may not resonate with you, but coming out of the spiritual closet was actually rather difficult. I'm gay, and coming out of that closet is harder than the first one. You know, someone who's logical and always been like a math and science geek, and it lives in a family that's very practical and
Right.
appreciates letters after names and stuff like that. Coming out and saying, yeah, I'm Looney Tunes, you guys. I mean, like, really weird. So I've been remiss in getting out there. So this is, one of the reasons I reached out to you, is because I want to start speaking about this on larger stages. I'm ready for people to come in and come in larger scale. So
awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, like when you say like in a larger, I mean, I don't even know, I suppose I haven't, I want to do the 5-day thing with you.
Okay, great.
While I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
While
absolutely.
I can get on your calendar. But like, I wonder what would be, I mean, I feel like more of an intimate, like if you did an in-person retreat somewhere, but maybe there's a number like 50 or,
keep it
you know, like, you know,
Yep.
you know how those lovely like kind of numbers, because then I think about those like Tony Robbins things where there's like an auditorium full of people and it feels like this might not be the right thing for that, but
yeah, it's very impersonal. Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of impersonal.
That's the thing, is if you want to reach large numbers, then you kind of have to do it that way. But the real impact happens in the smaller groups. So,
but I did recently the meditation program that I was doing. They did like a 3-day live virtual, and there were thousands of people on there.
Yep.
But it still felt intimate.
Right.
Because, right? So it's like even that maybe would be for one aspect of the kind of launching people into the cohort or to sign up for another paid something, like that could be something that would work well. I don't know.
You're right. Am I going to owe you an hourly fee for the coaching that I'm receiving? Because it's solid gold. You're right there. Yeah.
This is my jam. My jam is I'm an instigator.
Coach Carole Ann says, I need a number. Give me the number.
Give me the number.
2026 goal, Cindy. What are we doing by the end of the year? And then what's 2026?
And I'm scheduling my live.
Yep. And give me
my 5-day live with 3,000 people on the call.
Right. And give me your 5-year plan. I hear you, girl. And you're right. You're right. I've been there's always the practical versus the what you'd like to do. So trying to, manage the expenses while launching the thing and getting it out there the right way. But
yes,
that's why I'm talking to you, because I feel like you were a good person to chat with, and your audience is right in my wheelhouse in terms of what part of life they're in. And I feel like so I'm talking to Coach Carole Ann right now. I feel like when people don't go saying to them, I mean, some people do, but not very many people wake up one day and go, you know what? I think I need a spirit guide. I think I'd really like to have a spirit guide to talk to. What happens is they're going through life and they got a decision that they need help with, or they're in a transition phase, right? A divorce, lost
the kids
spouse,
have left the nest.
Empty nest.
What the hell am I going to do now?
Right, caring for the aging parents, all the things that happen.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, I feel like I can't trust myself, and I have this problem, and I need assistance with it. And that's kind of the doorway that is, oh, well, a guide would make sense in that context.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not seeking out the super woo-woo, the kids that are born under a star sign and named Moonbeam that woke up saying, I want my guides. And, they're telling you stories about the gargoyles that chased them in the forest and their 3-day ayahuasca trip and all that stuff. Like,
and don't diss the gargoyles in the forest.
I know. I mean, it's cool. Right? It's whatever floats your boat. But I'm
kidding. But yeah, because what you said it earlier, like how people, like they, especially women, like go kind of start thinking and asking, like, and going, who can I ask? How? Because I did that when I in my 30s. I would start asking my friend's husband started asking me what I was gonna do next, and I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, I'll give you an apprenticeship as an electrician, and I was like, oh,
interesting.
It hadn't even occurred to me, and I was like, okay, I don't think that doesn't feel like it, but it was like, but that is curious, and it's interesting that in a man's world of that, like an electrician at the time was really a man's job. I
Right.
mean, this is the
It's
2001,
it still
and
really is, but yeah.
still kind of is,
Yeah.
right? And so, but it gave me that little boost of confidence, and it was something. It was what I wanted to hear. So I was gonna say, like, sometimes women go out kind of asking friends and asking their, trusted people, but if they don't get the answer they want, they'll just keep searching. But if it's coming from a guide
Mm-hmm.
and it feels different as it comes to them,
Yes.
I feel like it would give confidence, because that's how I feel without even saying like it came from a guide. But I feel like I get these inspirational downloads is what they
You do.
feel like.
Absolutely.
I'll be writing and it's just coming into me. Like I feel like I'm just a vessel.
Yep.
And I'm open, and it's just like, oh, is this where we're going now?
Right.
I had no idea that this
Right.
and now we're doing that. Like it's not and I'll even have like a whole plot out of what I was going to write. And I'll know this is where, and it's like, oh boy, especially fiction. It's like now the characters are taking over the prison.
Right. I mean, and
but
that's the way it flows.
It feels very flow, and it's fun, and it's like, it's exciting. Whereas because I have, a couple of friends that I've sort of said to them, like, kind of using them a bit of as a guinea pig, like, okay, like you're thinking about retirement in the next, decade or whatever. What do you think you'll do next? Like what? And they're just like, I don't know. I'm just so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have time to think about it. I'm like dropping little nuggets. Like, what about this? What about that? Remember when you like to do this? Remember, I don't know. Maybe I'll get into pottery. Like,
right. Menopause nap is what they're thinking.
A menopause nap. Like, and it's
tired.
Like, okay, well,
I'm just tired.
After you have your naps for, like take a few weeks to have some downtime, but what do you feel curious about? And what do you like? And if it feels exhausting, and if it feels like, oh, that's too much work, then that's not it.
Right. Correct.
If it will give you a spark, and it will give you energy, and you'll be excited, and you'll be like, I just want to talk about this with everybody, So I feel like that's maybe how the guidance comes in too, is like it feels different in the body than
it does.
Just like an idea.
Yes. And that's pretty fundamental to what I'm teaching, is knowing the difference, being able to differentiate, to really know what's my ego, what's fear talking, what's the fantastical part of me that has a little sort of disconnected from reality.
Do I have a little bit of a mental illness issue that where did that come from?
Yes, that one of the DID characters wanting to pop out. Sorting through, and that's of course another part of it is there's a lot of questions people. If I heard something, then doesn't that make me schizophrenic? Yeah, right. I mean, like, don't tell your psychiatrist this. I'm saying it's not a great idea. It's going to end up in a file somewhere.
Right. Like knowing like you said, knowing the difference, knowing when there's a voice talking to you that is, or it's just more of an intuitive, sounds like your mind talking, but it's not. It's because it's like, I've never thought that before.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Yes, that is exactly it. What's actually interesting to me is people think that, what I'm doing or talking to a spirit guide is weird. And I think, what's really strange to me is it's weird that not you, this is the general you. The general you. The royal you. Yeah, the royal you. That you suddenly will say something about a topic that you have not read anything about, you have not studied anything about, you don't actually know anything about it, but something popped out of your mouth and you just knew. Or you decided today is not the day to take the alternate route home, and then you later find out there was an accident. We all have these experiences, and we excuse them, and we make it seem like they're not real. And I would like to normalize them, because what's weird is pretending that you don't have moments of knowing, just innate knowing. We all do. That's a very human experience. But everyone will tell you, "Oh no, I don't have any of that. That's not me." And Because
I think it partly because of the noise is too loud.
Yeah.
And so if something breaks through, it's kind of like, oh, that, I don't know, it was just a weird coincidence. I probably just wanted to take the scenic route. I don't know. Like, it's
Right.
not, but I agree. I think there's learning that, and learning to differentiate and listen to that is really important.
Yeah. And there's the societal factor as well, which is I believe that imaginary children as or imaginary friends that we had as kids. Did you have an imaginary friend?
I I did.
You did. Okay.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. It was actually, yes, it
Okay.
was a genie,
Okay.
a little miniature genie that I carried around with me to school in elementary school.
Okay. So genie's probably one of your spirit guides. That is what I believe. And when I say I believe that, I know it. I'm not going to say that because how do I prove it? But I believe that's a spirit guide. And as kids, we don't have a lot of filters. We
No.
haven't been taught yet all the things we're not supposed to do. So what happens when you have an imaginary friend? What did your parents have to say about that, or your teachers?
Yeah, eventually it's like, no, no, no,
Don't do
don't.
that. That's
God,
weird.
you're
Right.
embarrassing us. Like, don't talk to your imaginary
Right,
friends.
right. So what do? We're
They're
learning.
imaginary. Yeah.
Society teaches us to block the signals that
Yeah.
are important to who we are at our core. So taking that and trying to normalize it. One of the things that's happened to me on my journey is I found out so many people that I know and people that I know well, like we've talked about everything kind of people, have had similar experiences, but we don't talk about it because everyone's over here going, that's weird. They're gonna put me in a white jacket and throw me in a padded room if I talk about that. And then you realize people are all having these experiences and they think they're the only one and they think I might be losing my mind. And
Yeah.
so what if we just talked about it and stopped making it this dirty little secret? So that for me was a big thing, was like, okay, Cindy, you're telling people, trust yourself, contact your guide, get the guidance that you need. You can't be secretive either. You can't be saying, what happens when my family finds out about this?
Right.
Right. So
Right.
so I've got to set
Right.
that example. And I feel like that's a really common experience. I find that with so many of my clients where they're like, yeah, I always kind of felt this, or I've always kind of known things, but I stopped doing it. My preacher told me that's evil. Or,
Right.
what you just described about your teachers, your parents. No,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. It makes us, really what they're saying is it makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And also then they have to remember that they had a childhood friend and how much trouble
Yeah.
they got in for having it, right? Because that's what we do. We repeat those patterns. So
Well, and we're just so ingrained to want to fit into society
mhm.
and conform, which I've really been digging into since I started this podcast. The concept, like, where does that, well, I know where it comes from, but it just is curious to me why there's so much about conformity and not rocking the boat and not being different and not presenting differently and not thinking different thoughts. Like, we all have to fit within this one lane. It's like, it's bullshit. And I
Mm,
feel like our audience is the best audience to break through that shit, because
mm.
we're at, like, I'm at the age where I have zero fucks left to give.
Right. I don't
Just
care what
don't,
I don't care what you think anymore. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks anymore.
Yep.
And I can talk unfiltered and I can say whatever the fuck. Obviously, I still do probably filter myself, but I'm really trying to fight against that. And I
Hmm.
feel like women at this age are more likely to be like, who fucking cares? Who
Yes.
cares what they, yeah, talk to me about the guides, right? Like, what's the harm? Like, it's interesting. We might learn something new, right? It's like
It's
there's no harm, no foul. Like, let's dive into curious and scary and weird stuff. Why not? We're only here
right.
for a short time. Let's get
Right.
into some fun
Right.
stuff.
Let's make it fun. It's not so
Yeah.
serious. Like
Yeah.
I said, there's no success metric. There's no right or wrong. We're just gonna play. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times as adults do we just let ourselves play like kids? And
Yes.
and is that okay? I mean,
Totally.
I mean, I'm,
I'm all about that. I'm literally a kid. Like, I'm literally like a teenage
I
kid
love
still.
it. I love it. I love it. See, and
I'm
that's
just like,
and that comes through in your podcast for sure. It's a nice attractive quality. It's very good because we're so serious all the time, and it's like,
yeah.
what do we? Are we here to complete the checklist? Is that really all we're here for?
It's not working.
No,
Whatever it is
no.
that we've been brainwashed into thinking that we need to do and how we need to show up in society, it's not fucking working.
Yep.
It's backfiring. And by not talking about shit and not being real and not being truthful and not communicating, it's not working. So we need
Right.
to shake shit up, and we need to start having women come together in big groups and build community and
Right.
start to freak people the fuck out.
Right. I mean, the coven needs to reassemble. I mean,
The
let's be
coven
honest.
needs to reassemble.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
women are the key to me. They
Yeah.
really are the key to literal survival of the species.
Yeah.
SOS.
I've seen the future.
Yes.
I've seen it. And we will rule the world again. But we all need to step up, and we need to get the fuck out of our own way and do what we want to do and what really resonates with us.
Yes.
Even if it's so scary and means a complete shift, it's like, what else are you going to do? Just keep on that same trajectory until you end up in an old age home?
Right. Right.
What the, why?
Right. Right. Please everyone around you and be miserable in your own, because that's what women do. We just, we take care of everyone.
Accept ourselves.
Yep.
We put ourselves at the bottom, and we just try to look after everybody, and then nobody appreciates it anyway.
Right.
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 Thankless.
Exactly.
It's all
exactly.
thankless work.
Exactly. Exactly. So true. I mean, even the confidence thing, I think, like, there are very few men walking out the world going, did I make the right decision? They don't think that way.
What
They're
really,
just like, I did, because I'm a man. I am he.
It's not even, I know, like, it's so funny that you say that, because that's one of my big pet peeves, is in trying to encourage women to just try something new and do something completely batshit crazy sounding, because men will just do it.
Yeah.
Men will not
Yeah.
question, and I'm not criticizing, like, men, it's just because they're raised with this different societal downloading that they can do whatever they want.
Right.
And no one will question it.
It's right.
Right.
And it's fine. Yeah.
But my whole life was like, oh, I can't do that. I'm a girl.
Right.
Oh, I never got taught how to run the boat going up to the cabin. My brother got taught how to run the boat at like 10 years old, 12 years old. I was 30 when my husband showed me how to run the boat.
What?
And that's just, it's just weird. Like, and my parents were great, but my dad was and my mom were very old school.
Yeah.
I wanted to take shop, mechanics, carpentry as my electives in junior high. And my mom was like, no, you're taking sewing and cooking.
Yeah.
Home ec?
Yeah.
You're taking home ec. I mean, I'm glad I took home ec, because now I can sew and I can sort of cook. But I mean, still, I've always been interested in carpentry and mechanics. So now I've spent 22 years in construction, and I can now work on my motorcycle. Like, I never would have even got my motorcycle license until it was like 2017, when one of my girlfriends taught me how to ride a motorcycle, because I felt like, oh God, I can't, because guys kind of made it a guy thing. And
right.
It's like, oh no, girls ride on the back.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right. Right. And the guy things are always a little bit more fun than the girl things.
Right.
I mean,
the guys are able to do this and go here and go there, and it's like, oh no, it's not for girls. No, fuck that. So I'm like, no, we need to take over and do whatever feels curious and interesting. Let's do that. Let's all just do what we want to do and make life way more fun and take back our control, because life is way too short and shit is not going well.
Yeah, and I mean, society spent a long time teaching us all of that, right? Oh, I mean, they've got it really nailed, so the guys can just roll up and screw up, and no one ever says, man, you're a failure. And women are like, 99 out of 100 things we absolutely nail it, and on the 100th item that we get wrong, it's like, of course.
Oh yeah, you can be crushing it, and it's like, yeah, but did you see her hair? It's like, seriously? Right. I just crushed it. Right. And I took all those guys down because none of them were prepared, and I just danced circles around them backwards in high heels, and you're going to talk about my hair.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a double standard, so trying to get us out of the place where because we feed into it, right? We're almost
we're caught up in it.
We're the battered wife to a degree, where we're like, oh, they didn't mean it. He said he wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, oh, I can fix it. because I'm the fixer, and
Right.
I can fix him, and I can fix them, and I can bring everybody together, and I can smooth it all over. And maybe he'll go to counseling, and maybe he'll keep going to AA. But it's like, no, fuck, you don't need to fix everything. Some
Right.
people cannot be fixed.
It's not all our responsibility. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
with you, sis. I think we could probably go on for hours about this stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
This has been so great. Awesome. I really enjoyed talking with you, Cindy.
Yeah, me too.
I do want to I'm going to send you an email, I want to sign up for the 5-day
Yeah, let's do it.
challenge.
Let's do it. Are you
That'd be awesome.
well, let me make you another offer. So, would you prefer a group setting or would you rather do the one-on-one? Does it matter to you?
Doesn't really matter. It's probably just the time, like time wise, what
They're about the same.
availability.
Yeah, they're about the same setting. So if it's your choice. I'll do either. I'll comp you on the group one if you want to do it. I would love to have you do it. Heck, I'd love to have you document it if you felt the need. That would be, I don't know, might make for an interesting kind of series.
Oh,
So
that could be, how do you think people would feel about that though?
I don't know. What is your audience like? I mean,
Well, I mean, people in the,
in the group,
oh
setting?
yeah, you mean document the one-on-one.
Well, we could do it either way. I'm giving you the choice. Some people are more, they like the
Because
group.
some people in the group might not like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't force it on somebody. I would go with a friendly group. So
Right.
I've kind of got some people lined up that I'll slot into groups where it makes sense. But yeah, you think about it. If you prefer the one-on-one or the group, let me know and we'll do it whichever you think is a good fit for you. If you'd like the community aspect of it and seeing other people's reactions, and sometimes when it's when you're individual, you get a little less. You're like, I don't know,
Right.
am I the only one or so? But it's
Okay.
a personal choice. So you let me know, and we'll do it complimentary either way. So you just pick what works for you, and yeah, we'll get you there. I mean,
Okay, that sounds great.
It sounds like you have a pretty strong connection with your guides already, but being able to make it on demand,
Yeah.
rather
and
than just waiting for a download.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I liked how you said, like, feeling it in the body, like feeling something shift and knowing. Like, I don't know that I have that. I think it's pretty ad hoc right now.
Right. Was that a good idea? Well, if it's a good idea, it's a good idea. It doesn't matter whether it came directly from you. And actually, way side note, I believe that your guide is actually you in a non-physical form. So it's not really external advice. So when your guide
I was going to ask
do
you
this thing,
if you think, if you've looked at the quantum physics aspect of this, because I've been looking at the quantum physics stuff, and it's like, it's your higher self. It's yourself in another realm,
right? Without all of
your potential future.
Yes, without all of the humanly fears and worries, and they can see the big picture. So when someone says, "Well, your guide asked you to do something that was kind of that you maybe regretted, or maybe you felt a little bit weird about," and it's like that's it's me. I'm not taking orders per se. It's me.
Right.
It's me. And then the guide is the messenger from me to me.
Right. And if that,
makes sense.
if that part of you told you to do something that didn't resonate in the moment because you weren't ready, well, then you go, it doesn't feel right.
Right. And that's part of my method for, discerning whether it's external or internal, or something you want to do. And of course you're always the master. Like we're not giving up control of the ship. We're just saying we have a trusted advisor that actually has us, it's not my attorney whose trusted advice means more hours that he can bill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome.
I love it.
I'm excited.
That would be fun. I look forward to just chatting some more.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, it's
awesome.
been such a joy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That was my amazing conversation with Cindy Seer Anderson of Soulpiphany. And I hope you found that enlightening. I sure did. I'm going to be carrying on and signing up for the 5-day challenge. I think it'll be really spiritually enlightening. I think hopefully I get some real good guidance from my team of spirit guides. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. This has been super fun, and check out the links, and I'll put links in the description as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You got to always say that, right? Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.